So one of the best performing videos on our YouTube channel, but at the same time, probably one of the most hated videos on our YouTube channel is the video about how I tried to buy two of Tyler Hoover's Lamborghinis. Now, it all started, I would say almost as a joke. He had got this exceptional deal on a Bianco Perlato over Rosso Countach 25th anniversary, paired with an early Diablo Roadster, so a non-airbag car. There are very few of those cars, probably 50 or so. So it was like a 96 production, 97 model year, titanium on black, no wing, really pretty car, nice condition car. Both were decent miles. I think the Countach was like 12,000 miles. The Diablo is probably around 11,000 miles. And he bought them incredibly well. I don't know if he ever published the price or anything like that, but he got an incredible deal on the cars. And it was sort of well known in the community. And, you know, he started creating all these videos and content of him buying his dream cars and blah, blah, blah. And the experience of owning the cars and driving the cars. And it was sort of cool because, you know, I think it's great for a younger generation to be into Countaches and driving Diablos instead of newer cars. So I really supported him in what he had done. But I had never really watched his channel, honestly, until sort of more recently. And at one point, you know, Ed actually put us together and, you know, we started to message back and forth and talk about, you know, values and, you know, what he thought. And I think he was just looking to sort of fish at first. And then one day he said to me, you know what, I think I'm interested in selling the Countach. Cool. Sounds great. I made him a very fair offer. I actually, my offer was even higher than my appraisal when I gave him an appraisal at one point. So I made him a very fair offer on the Countach. And we started to basically trade information. I was getting photos. I was getting the VIN. I was getting a copy of the title. All the things that we do whenever we're buying a car for Curated. So it's like, you know, just sort of due diligence to prepare for the deal and prepare for the purchase agreement. We finally agreed on a price. We said, deal, congrats, amazing. And then he went silent. He actually disappeared for a day or two. I said, hey, man, everything okay? He said, yeah, you know what? I'm so sorry. I decided I don't want to sell. I said, okay, it happens, you know, fine. Congrats, enjoy your car, you know? So another couple months go by and he sends me a message again. And, you know, we're sort of, you know, back and forth on price. He's telling me I'm offering too low. And I'm saying, well, you know, your car needs work. It needs, you know, this. And I finally, just to make a deal with him, I actually just say, okay, fine. I'll give you what you want. Let's just make a deal. He says, great. I said, send me a copy of the title. And again, he disappears on me. So it sort of was like this awkward situation where it was like what's happened? So I finally said, hey, did I do something wrong? And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to sell it now. After Hoovie sort of burned me on backing out of those two transactions, I was invited to appraise the guy's cars on CarTrack. And that was the first time I spoke to him or had seen him since that. So it was the perfect time for me to completely burn him on CarTrack and just destroy his SLS. It felt good. I felt better about myself. I felt better about my situation. Even though his SLS was a nice car, I felt like I had to burn him a little bit. And, you know, that was when I actually started to watch his channel. You know, probably in a fit of rage. I was like, I'm going to watch this jerk and see what he does. And I actually realized that he's actually sort of a very passionate guy. I sort of like his channel. His demeanor's great. And I like sort of his story and, you know, where he came from and the things that he does now. I think it's cool. So I actually ended up saying, okay, he's a fine guy. And you know what? 2 Lamborghini purchases are not going to change my business, are not going to change my life. And really, as long as he's enjoying the cars, that's super cool. So I invite him on the Countach rally. We end up becoming friends, and I think he had a blast, and we've done a ton of other things. In that process, I actually asked him, I said, hey, do you mind if I have to do a story or a video about this terrible disaster of a transaction for our YouTube channel? And he said, yeah, sure, man, whatever, if you need some content. So I sort of like grilled him a little bit, but it was all in jest. It was in fun. But I didn't know that Tyler Hoover had so many fans because we got hundreds of comments, emails, hate mail, you name it, because all of his fans gathered around and destroyed me on our YouTube channel, which was probably really good for subscribers and views. So thank you to all his passionate fans. It did help our channel grow a little bit, and it was a very well-performing video. But it was honestly, he knew about it. It was a joke. And it was water under the bridge at that point anyway. So he had come on the rally. We had become friends. He had a blast on the rally. He drove his Countach all over California. And at that point he said, I don't think I can ever sell a Countach. I'm in love. And I said, good, enjoy it, drive it. We have some great photos of his Countach. We actually put him at the front for some of the rally too. I didn't keep him in the back at all times. So we had a great time and we had always stayed in touch. And then one day he reaches out to me recently and he says, well, I think I'm ready to sell the Diablo Roadster. And I'm like, haha, you got to be joking. You're kidding me, right? And he goes, no, I really, really want to sell it. If you've watched his channel, and I didn't actually realize this at the time, you know that his Diablo had some sort of quirky little features with it. It had a whine coming from the engine. It had an AC panel that was not working. He had to actually bypass it and a few other things. So I said, okay, we'll figure it out. I think the whine's nothing major. We'll figure it out. So we end up actually doing a transaction, buying the car. He agreed to a price. We paid him, got the title, super happy we got the car delivered. I have to say, when the car first arrived, I was pretty disappointed. Front tires were mismatched from the rear. They were some cheap off-the-wall brand, which, it's a four-wheel drive car. You really have to be careful when you're doing anything like that with those Diablos. The front diffs are very sensitive. You shouldn't put big wheels. You should try to stick to anything factory as you can. So front tires are hard to find. I know that, so I'll give him that. The AC control panel was definitely modified. He had changed the exhaust just simply because of the whine. But as further research, we realized there is actually a whine in the car. So it's somewhere in the drivetrain. But overall, the car was actually a really nice car. Interior was beautiful. Paint was all nice, with the exception of those service issues. So we ended up fixing the service issues. We ended up selling the car recently. I think we sold it to a passionate Hoovie fan because we never advertised the car. The car basically sold itself. He talked about it on his channel, and we ended up with the car, and someone called us, which was sort of cool. And I'm excited for the next owner. He's going to drive it, enjoy it in good health. And somehow we finally did a deal with Hoovie. So now the question is, when is he going to sell us the Countach? So 25th anniversary Countaches have always struggled in terms of value. I would say they've always been half the price of other Countaches and maybe even less than that. And it's just because they're the highest production, almost 700 cars for the world. So they're more common. A lot of them happen to be in the US. A lot are fuel injected cars. So they've always been seen as the lesser desirable cars. That being said, they are very cool cars. They're probably the best fit and finish. They are built better than the earlier Countaches, and they were the one cars designed by Horacio Pagani. So he penned all of the, the aerodynamic and the carbon Kevlar pieces that were added to the car. So definitely a cool feature, and for Pagani collectors, it's probably something that you might buy one day. And I think over time there are more newer collectors today that do actually like the 25th anniversary. What's wild is in the time that Tyler bought the cars until the time that he sold them, they appreciated so much. And even he still owns the Countach today. I mean, the cars have appreciated hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what is considered the dumbest automotive channel on YouTube today is not so dumb. And he's probably, made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
When you get a ticket, it might look something like this, but the first thing that you need to do is take a picture of that ticket and send it to 305-305. That will get the ticket clinic on your case immediately. They've got brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they can help you find a ticket no matter where you get it in the United States by helping you find a local attorney that will do everything they can to help you avoid costly fines, insurance premium increases, points on your license, risk of suspension, even jail time. They've helped me out with this ticket and many others, and a lot of my friends as well. So check them out now at the link in the description below, or again, text your ticket to 305-305 to get the ticket clinic on your case. They are the perfect partner in your fight against any speeding ticket.